and chances are you're in the same boat. And this is what makes this mistake almost seem like a ghost, because you can't really see it at first glance. You really have to think that's the reality, and reality doesn't care about your feelings. In today's video, we're talking about an all too common mistake that is potentially going to haunt your funnel and leave you scratching your head wondering, where did all of our sales and leads and conversions go? This mistake, it's actually quite common even for experienced marketers and entrepreneurs to make. And it just feels like a ghost that is just like haunting the hallways of your funnel at various levels. And again, the bigger that you grow and the longer you're in business, the more likely that this mistake is going to happen at least once or in some way, shape, or form. So what is that mistake? I'm going to break it down for you in the form of a story that we have recently experienced, and I recently experienced firsthand in growing our business, Grobo. So hello, my name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the founder and CEO of Grobo, as you may already know, and welcome to episode 1 of what we call the Massive Podcast. MASS, it's an acronym. It stands for Marketing, AI, Sales, and How to Scale. We've been in business since 2010, started as an agency and scaled multiple productized services, sold thousands of copies of our courses and info products. And in 2021, we crossed 7 figures for the first time with our flagship unlimited marketing team delegation platform. So we work with other businesses and help them to grow by allowing them to just delegate whatever they need to get done in terms of marketing. But the journey has not been all sunshine and rainbows, and that's why I make these videos for you to reflect and share the journey with you in a way that is real and raw and really giving you maximum value. We're bootstrapped, and chances are you're in the same boat. So come alongside and let's create massive success and build you a competitive moat. Kind of like how that rhymes. I'm still working on it. Let me know what you think. So let's get right into the story here. So back in late December, early January this year, my team and I did a pre-launch. We shared a video demo of what we were building. We called it the Grobo AI platform. And we shared this demo video and invited people to sign up for $1 to get early access to reserve their spot. We received dozens and dozens of paid signups, more demand than I actually expected. I was really not sure what to expect when we first launched. And we received hundreds and hundreds of free preview signups, meaning people that would log in and they wouldn't pay the $1 to reserve their spot, but they were clearly interested and they wanted to click around the UI and see what it was all about. We thought with all this interest, which was immediate, surely this was going to be a huge success. We just had to get it built and fast. No problemo. But therein lay the problem. We had our core business, right, which was the delegate unlimited digital marketing task to a team of professionals, all in one team, for a flat monthly price. And then this new product platform. Time and resources speaking as a bootstrap business were limited, and we kept getting distracted by competing priorities. We got to run over here. We got to put this fire out. We got to fix this. We got to, again, because with our productized service, the all-in-one done-for-you team, we also have our own software platform that we built separate for that. We attempted to hire developers to sort of, keep the work separate and so that we could, get it done faster. And that was just a mess. That didn't work out. It's, if you've ever hired developers, you probably understand what I'm talking about. It's a challenge just to find someone who is, I think, well-rounded and competent. And there was no way that we were going to go after a dev shop. And so we just decided, and I decided, that I would just code it alongside our lead developer, to get it over the finish line. It ended up taking 6 months to launch, all right? So which is an eternity when you're talking about timelines in terms of the age of AI. So by that time, the summer season had just started to kick in. The excitement around AI went down a little bit. And I think cynicism went up a little bit because there were all these, there's so much worry in part about hey, it's going to take my job. It's going to take everyone's job. Oh my God. On top of that though, we launched, we got over the finish line. It was finished. It was working, super proud. And the sales started to come in. But what happened, we realized, was that there was a huge bottleneck in the funnel, if you will, but it was past the bottom of the funnel. It was in large part the UI. And to us as developers, my team members and I, like, we were close to it the whole time. We just kind of had like this blindness. And I think that's something to watch out for in terms of your funnel or, your product and service, because it's just so easy to get used to it. I write some fiction in my spare time, and a very common tactic that you have to do when you're writing fiction is you just have to step away. You have to get some distance from whatever it is you're writing in order to have a more objective perspective on if what you're writing is good or if it's something that needs to be rewritten or just tossed out. But when you're so close to it, again, you can have that sort of critical blindness where you're just unable to think critically and make more objective, I guess, self-critique, if you will. So that was a huge bottleneck. But on top of that, we had flipped our homepage to be focused completely not on our done-for-you service, which still responsible for pretty much the vast majority of our revenue. We flipped the focus on this new AI platform, which clearly was just not taking off as fast as when we were pre-selling it. It did achieve, and we were proud of this too, over 1,500 in MRR almost immediately. I think we actually crossed 2K MRR. But retention, it was difficult because in part of the UI issue, it just felt a little more complex. I think a big factor too was that a lot of the people who signed up for it were actually our clients of the done-for-you service. And these were business owners who were signing up for our done-for-you service in part because they didn't want to have to learn how to use a piece of software. So yeah, I think the customers who have really stuck with it, those customers are the ones who are more kind of like do it yourself. So it's like a different market too. And I think that we didn't fully realize that, like, it should be obvious just from the price point, because the price point is going to be lower for a do it yourself type of product where you're delegating maybe to a team of AI agents in this case versus to a team of humans who, again, like, you're just totally hands off. You just maybe speak some words into a voice note or a type, and your project manager just takes care of everything. But again, huge assumption on our part. And I think that looking back, we could have launched a simpler version much sooner. It's funny because I've been through this process before. I have experience in this. And again, I think we intended completely to launch it within a matter of weeks, but again, just the scope of work and how long it took, it just kind of kept dragging on. And yeah, looking back would have definitely made some different decisions, but what can you do? So it was so simple and clear to us. We thought, how could it not be clear and easy for everyone else? But that's the reality. When you're getting data where your customers or your clients, they're telling you something is like they love this benefit or they don't like this issue or lack of benefit over here, you just have to kind of shut up and listen. That's the reality, and reality doesn't care about your feelings. So we redesigned our homepage because we realized we're going to have to take some time here to revise our strategy. Like, it's almost like a startup within our business. I think actually it quite literally is, because we just needed to make the onboarding easier and the UI a bit simpler as well. How we have gone about doing that, again, is just like listening to feedback and really looking for patterns, not really taking any one person's feedback, but really just kind of looking for those patterns of agreement, which was they all sort of coalesced like, okay, like the UI needs to be a bit simpler. And again, it just seems so simple to us. We're like, it's got like 5 features. How is it not simple? But again, like, if I think part of the perspective too is like some of the users were coming from a chat GPT, like it's like that's the simplest. That's only one step up from like a Google search bar. In the meantime, we said we're going to have to revamp our homepage. We want to put the focus back on our flagship done-for-you service, since interest was still higher in that by comparison, especially in terms of revenue. Kind of shocking, I know, right? It's like, wow, like in the age of AI, human talent is still much valued and needed. Indeed, sometimes the most ironic outcome is the most likely. So we relaunched our homepage. We worked on it. We massaged it. We got the branding all perfect. But sales, again, were still being affected. And this is where like the real key, I think, bottleneck and mistake comes in. Let's take a look at what that actually looks like. I've solved this problem before in the past several times, so I know exactly what to fix, and I'll walk you through it. So we've got the homepage here, and you probably agree, looks pretty solid, looks pretty well put together. But it's actually very different. And I think that's part of the problem. It's talking about delegating and automation and AI agents, and all that's really cool. I think it's interesting to a lot of people. But in terms of what we know has worked with our target market and with our business, it is a bit of a departure. And moreover, if you read through the entire page, there's still like this misalignment that's happening and like this slight lack of clarity as you dig into the details. So it's subtle. And this is what makes this mistake almost seem like a ghost, because you can't really see it at first glance. You really have to think, you have to really put yourself in the shoes of a potential customer or client. You have to look at it with fresh eyes. And if you can't look at it with fresh eyes yourself, like in a genuinely empathetic way, then you have to just sit down with someone who maybe is in your industry, ideally, or is a potential or existing client or customer. You should have some sort of relationship with them where you know that they're going to give you honest, even blunt, honest and useful and constructive feedback. We put a lot of emphasis here on the AI platform. And I think what we've realized, I was talking with one of our team members the other day, it's almost like how the work gets done is almost like details, right? Because part of what we tried to do with this homepage redesign, which I think you would agree looks pretty decent, pretty solid. We worked hard to be consistent, more consistent than in the past in terms of like branding. So the colors you'll notice are a bit disciplined in terms of like white, black, and this electric green color. But again, it's not so clear what it is that we're selling because we're trying to thread the needle. You know, we're trying to like take two offers and combine them rather than just present it as one offer. We're trying to get two pieces of a puzzle. It's almost like the thought that they're two separate things is part of what keeps it separate in a way. Let's take, for instance, this headline. All right. Turn your marketing ideas into profit. This is a pretty good headline, right? It lacks a bit of clarity though. I think that if we had like a much bigger, existing brand or something that was maybe like in millions of people are visiting this site, I think a similar headline you might see on MailChimp.com in the past where they say turn email into revenue. But even that is perhaps a bit more clear because it's like, okay, email marketing. You can almost connect the dots. It might be one level deeper, but it's still somewhat clear. But turn marketing ideas into profits, I don't know. Like I'm not exactly hooked. I mean, profit sounds good, but I think that this would work if we did something a little different, which we might do in the future, where we had some sort of an interactive element where you could just kind of like jump right into using the platform itself. Speaking of which, we are going to be launching freemium really soon. So if you're interested, definitely join our email list to hear about that. It's going to be a free kind of basic version of Growbo, just the AI portion. And then you can upgrade if you want additional benefits and obviously get the full done for you service if you want a team of human professionals to, give you the most benefit for your dollar. But here again, like it's, we're kind of talking about delegate and automate your marketing with AI agents and a team of human experts who get it all done for you. And again, I think what people really care about are the deliverables. Like what can I delegate? How it gets done is sort of a detail, and it might be distracting. It's like, wait, I can delegate and automate. It's AI and humans. And, to us, we know that that's really valuable. I think it should perhaps come later. First, it's where is the value and what are the differentiating parts? Because we know what works, right? It's unlimited marketing tasks and an all-in-one team. But we have just we've buried the lead. You can still get that more or less from this page, but the videos and parts of the copy really just kind of obscure that. And our bet and our original hypothesis was that, okay, like I think people will be really attracted to the AI portion, but it really comes down to the value of just getting work done. And AI is cool, but again, I think as people have become a little bit cynical about it, that has perhaps affected some of the perception here. So again, what is the problem and how can you apply this to your business where you're at right now? Because chances are is that what is happening here is it's quite subtle. All right. But I think I've explained it pretty well. So it's a couple of things. Clarity. All right. Clarity of value in particular. Alignment. So we have this framework that we work with our clients on in terms of like just consulting with them. And even we use it every day in terms of thinking about our own funnel. It's called the 11 Laws of Sales Funnel Physics. If you want to read the whole article, it's basically like a mini book. Just Google for Sales Funnel Physics, 11 Laws. But one of the umbrella laws, you could call it, is the law of alignment, which basically says that the degree to which your landing pages, your copy, your emails aligns with the conscious and unconscious expectations of your target audience, the higher your conversion rate is just going to be. This also applies in the sense of just setting expectations from one step to the next. So there's a misalignment in the funnel right now, just in terms of like our core offer is the done for you all in one team. If you click over to pricing, it becomes more and more apparent. But again, the homepage is more about like AI and cool and automation and, here's the AI platform. And it doesn't so clearly emphasize what people have been more interested to buy historically up until right now. And that brings me to, I think, the overall wisdom that you need to walk away from this video with. And this is actually an easier one to do because there's a lot of advice online. And the problem with advice and tips and tactics and strategies is that it requires additional thought and preparation. And therefore, 99.9% of what you hear, even in this video, may never be acted upon. But the good thing about this is that you can achieve this by simply either calibrating or just not doing something, which is either easier than doing something. Okay? You can actually just do less and accomplish this. What am I talking about? Build on top of what works. Okay? Just build on top of what works. As entrepreneurs, it's easy for us to have shiny object syndrome. Oh, look at that thing over there. Oh, like there's another opportunity over here. And as you have more capital, it's easier to sort of allocate some of that. But your time is finite, especially when you're bootstrapping. You have to focus. And if something is working, just keep doubling down on it and keep iterating on it until it stops working. And even if it stops working, don't just assume that you have to scrap the whole business model and invent it from scratch. It might just be an adjustment in terms of the offer. Where has the market moved? Is there a recession? Okay, do you have to cut prices or maybe just emphasize how the value part of it is about saving money versus maybe making money? Because maybe the value is there in both dimensions, but based on where the market is at or going to, you can adapt and you can maintain your conversion and keep growing your conversion rates through any market. So again, build on top of what works, which often means sometimes don't make that change. Don't go after that other shiny object thing. Just stay focused and don't believe that the grass is necessarily greener on the other side, because it oftentimes is not. Many times I have thought this about other business models. It was always educational. I always learned and increased my skills. But looking back, if I had just doubled down on whatever, and this, I'm just talking about, the last 14 years we started in business in 2010 and we launched, different SaaS businesses. And I'm not saying don't iterate. You kind of have to keep iterating in a way, but also focus at the same time and just be aware of when something is working. Just stick with it. Don't go off to this side or that side. Just keep going with it. Keep building on top of it. So now I'll just show you, and you can see this on the screen to kind of get like a clear idea. So we have our two separate software platforms. We're going to be combining them into one in the future. And this is the AutoGrow platform where clients log in and they can just delegate through voice note or by typing to their team members and get updates from their project manager. It's awesome. And then this is the new UI that we are just about done with for Grobo. And you can talk to your Grobo guide. It's different because it is AI, and AI has certain strengths and weaknesses, as you probably know. You can build these different automations that can accomplish a wide variety of tasks, from strategy, content, copywriting, research, target market research, and more, SEO. And again, we'll be launching freemium soon. So if you're interested, pop in your email address, go to grobo.com, subscribe. So I hope you found this first episode of the massive podcast helpful and valuable. We've got new episodes coming up that we'll be talking about current events in and how they relate to your business and marketing strategy in useful ways. For example, we'll be talking about What does customer appreciation have to do with a 1 million fake jobs report from the US government? We're going to talk about potentially the election 2024 funnel. Again, we're going to analyze and try to be objective about the election 2024 funnel, who's doing what is working, what is persuasive, what is not, what is the architecture of the funnel, who's scoring points and why, and many more awesome and interesting and slightly entertaining topics, all linking back to business strategy and marketing and helping you grow faster and smarter. So if you enjoyed this content, please share it with others. And if you want to learn more about how you can delegate unlimited marketing tasks and projects without the headaches of hiring, then go to Grobo.com to watch a short demo video and book your call today. With your all-in-one Grobo team, you get multiple human professionals specializing in different skills, and we're able to deliver faster for you than ever now with the help of AI. What do you get with your all-in-one team? You get content writing, copywriting, as I mentioned, but also strategy, ads management, video editing and motion graphics, web design, graphic design, apps management, a dedicated project manager, and more. Go to Grobo.com to watch the demo and book your call today. Until next time, keep Groboing and stay focused.